This is Generation Stadia, giving you that daily dose of everything and anything Stadia related. So there's been quite a bit of news that's come out over the weekend, but before I get into that, this video needs to focus on something that came out today that's quite important. Now if you're wondering what I'm on about, well, the launch game lineup has officially been confirmed for November 19th, and I gotta say, it's quite different than what I expected. But before giving my thoughts on it, let's quickly take a look at what's gonna be coming out day one. The Stadia launch lineup includes Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Destiny 2, Guild, Just Dance 2020, Kine, Mortal Kombat 11, Red Dead Redemption 2, Thumper, Rise of the Tomb Raider, Shadow of the Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, and Samurai Showdown. So those 12 games actually round out the list of what we can expect day one of Stadia's launch. By the way, all this information is coming directly from Google's blog post, which you can check out the link in the description below. Now, if you're wondering where other titles are like Borderlands 3 or Ghost Recon Breakpoint, well, they'll be spreading those releases out over 2019 and some into 2020. The titles you can expect this year are Attack on Titans 2, Final Battle, Borderlands 3, Darksiders Genesis, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, Farming Simulator 19, Final Fantasy 15, Football Manager 2020, Grid, Metro Exodus, NBA 2K20, Rage 2, Trials Rising, and Wolfenstein Youngblood. The blog post also tells us to expect regular updates going forward. And now this leads me to asking you the question, do you think the launch lineup is good enough to stand on its own? Now, I don't know about you, but myself, I expected a lot more games to be launching alongside Stadia. In fact, a lot of the titles on this list I've already played. The only titles I haven't already bought or played previously are Samurai Showdown, Guild, and Kine. Now, obviously not everyone is going to be in my position. With that said, I do still feel like it's lacking. I think a lot of us were holding off on certain purchases in the hopes of picking it up on Stadia day one. For example, games like Borderlands 3 or even Football Manager 2020 for those interested in it were expected to be on launch. I mean, the latter of those two even announced their official release date to coincide with Stadia's release, November 19th, so it's a little odd that it won't be there. Now on the bright side, you won't have to be waiting too long to play those games that you've been wanting to play, since the majority will be launching within a month and a half. Not to mention there are other benefits to doing this rollout of games rather than pushing them all out at once. The first being that we have something to look forward to throughout the near future. I mean, just taking a look at the amount of games they've yet to release that are slated for this year, it would make sense for them to be dropping games every week. Now the other benefit that comes to mind is that games like Destiny 2 and Red Dead Redemption 2 will have good online populations. I mean, the only competition for online multiplayer gaming on launch is gonna be Samurai Showdown and Mortal Kombat 11. And those are two titles that I don't think share much of the same user base as the two titles previously mentioned. There's definitely good and bad ways to look at the launch lineup, but I am very curious to hear your opinion on it. Now, I was gonna leave this quick update there, but I just came across something very interesting through Twitter. Miles Jacobson, the director of Football Manager 2020, did state the following. I can only presume it's not on the list as being definitely there because maybe the other titles have already passed the submission process, whereas we haven't given them a final build as yet. As I mentioned earlier in the video, Football Manager 2020's release date was to coincide with Stadia's launch, so I did find it very awkward that it wasn't there on the launch lineup. And based on that statement given by the director of the game, I think it's fair to say that we may be seeing some more games added to that launch lineup list. With that said, it also does kinda surprise me that they haven't actually sent in their final version to Google considering the launch is only a week away. And the fact that we don't know how long the certification process is on Google's end, it could have very well just missed the mark. Overall, this doesn't really confirm whether or not we're gonna see more titles added to that launch lineup list, but I did think it was worth sharing. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video or found it helpful at all, be sure to hit that like button as it really does help the channel out, and if you're wanting more content like this, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell as well. Now for today's end of video message, I actually have something to share with you, and that's that the Generation Stadia website is now live. Now, I want to make it very clear that there's still some work to do on the website, but it is at a point in time where I think it's good enough to present to you. On the website, you can expect to read about anything and everything Stadia related, much like you come here to watch it. In the future, you can expect things like reviews to have both a written version as well as a watchable video for you to enjoy the content however you prefer. Now, as I stated earlier, there's still work that needs to be done on the website, specifically with the mobile version, but that's where I want to ask you for a favor. If you happen to have any feedback, suggestions, or come across bugs, do let me know in the Discord community, as it'll really help me shape this website to be something you enjoy using. And lastly, before ending this video, I need to give a huge shout out to Tom Galvin. He's been putting in a ton of work writing these fantastic articles to read, and simply put, without his help, I wouldn't be talking to you today about this website. Anyways, this has been Generation Stadia, giving you that daily dose of everything and anything Stadia related. The Gen S community is over 2,300 strong and growing by the day, and until next time, I'll catch you in the clouds.